Hi, it's Lyle. I'm a furniture artist. Do you want to get into using texture? Do you want to stamp in texture? Do you want to stencil in texture? And do you want to know what to do when it goes wrong halfway through? This video is definitely for you. Follow on and you'll see how I created this. Okay, this is today's project. Now you're probably wondering why it's already been painted. It'd been painted because I was going to be possibly using this piece as a stenciled piece, and I was prepping everything, but I've decided that I'm going to use this for something different and use something else for the stenciled piece. It doesn't matter, you don't need to know any of these things. So what happened, I've painted it a sort of light blue colour. Inside I have painted the cupboard the chocolate brown. Chocolate brown, and
same colour as that shelf.
Same colour as the shelf up here. What to say about it is a corner cupboard. What are we going to be doing today? Well, I have done a few videos. I'll get Martin to link the one for our bathroom cabinet, which has got texture and stencils on it. But I don't think I've ever done a piece where I've put texture and stamps on it. So that's what I'm going to do today. But first of all, I thought I might have a play with colour and texture, because I thought, you know, that's something I don't very often do. Sometimes I kind of whip past all this sort of parts like this. So I'm going to be playing around with colour on this bottom door down here. Now, what have I got to do it with? I have got some tile grout, which I'm going to thicken my paint up. This one here is perfect, but this one here has been sitting for a long time, and look at it. And I think that's going to, a sprinkle of that here and there is going to make some really awesome texture. So I'm going to add a little bit of that here and there as well with my hands. I think it's all going to be quite Bob Rossy. I think I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I think this is going to probably be quite a messy one. Colour palette. This was the colours that I'd chosen. So I've got a raspberry, which is primer red, and a little bit of Capri pink, which has made me this nice raspberry. I've got Scandinavian pink on its own. I have this greeny blue, which is the Frida blue and the Amsterdam green. And I've got this colour here, which was that minty one that I keep you know, the mint colour, it keeps following me around, and I still have some of it. So what I did was I added a little bit of Oxford Navy just to darken it up to get it back closer to what the original colour was. And in here I have the chocolate brown. Now the one that's going to have the texture in is the Hornflower, which is the brown. The rest are not going to have texture because the texture will move from this one into all of these anyway. So I think we're going to need my scoop, and I don't want it too thick, but I don't want it too thin either. So let's give a good couple of scoops of this in here. Now you can use clay, you can use some of there's lots of products out there that thicken paint, but to be honest with you, they're quite expensive, and I have some tile grout, so I'm just going to use it. And I'm using this transfer stick to stir it until I think that it's got to, I mean, I want it thick, but I don't want it too thick. Do I want a little bit more than that? I think I do. Yeah, like this is what I'm like when I'm baking, and then I wonder why things never work out right, because I go, oh, that doesn't look like that's enough, I'm just going to put more raisins or more oats in that, and then at the end you go, well, that's not quite what I was trying to achieve. My baking skills are very limited, and I love cake, which is such a shame, but Daisy's a great baker. So
fantastic cook,
but terrible baker.
But not, yeah.
Yeah, I like to cook.
Baking's not your thing, is it?
No, I like to cook, but do you know what? I think with baking, there's too many rules. You know, you really have to do what you're told, and I'm not very good at colouring inside the lines. So when I make it up, I go, when you're cooking, you can be experimental and chuck it all in a pan, but when you're baking, you have to follow the rules. Plus, it's just too complicated, and then you've got to wait for the cakes to cool, and oh no, buy them in Sainsbury's. Right, okay, so put my stick down there just now. How am I going to apply it? Lots of different ways, and I've got water here as well, because as I said, this is going to be an incredibly messy one, and I really haven't got a plan apart from the stamping areas, in which I think I know what I'm doing. But right now, there is no real plan to this, so this is quite good as well, because it's good to be experimental. I tell you that all the time. So I think first of all, with the texture, I want to kind of, let's just say, set the scene in the corners, maybe. Something like that. I'm going to come back in and put more texture on it, but I'm thinking colours as well. Now this has had 2 coats, so it's thoroughly base coated, and it's been sitting over there for, whoa, how long has that been sitting over there, Martin? A couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks now, so it's properly cured as well.
Yeah, it's dry and happy, ready for its new set of clothes. Now, do not panic when you're doing things like this. Do you know why? Because it's just paint and there's no real way to do it. You can watch tons of people painting furniture and everybody has their own way and does it different ways. And so it doesn't really matter. Right, so I'm happy with that. Now, there's texture in this, but I really feel like these lumpy parts. Let's just grab some of them. I told you it was going to be messy. Stick some of them on here. That's maybe a bit much on that corner. Yeah. Oh, I love my job. It's brilliant. You can just do whatever you want to do. You just need to make sure that this is kind of embedded in the paint if you've got something like this. If you want to do something like this, just get your towel out and don't put the lid on it for a few weeks and then you'll end up with something like that. Or you can just do the same thing with clay. I've seen people do it with talcum powder. Obviously, I mean, I've spoken about this before, and there's products out there, salt wash and sea spray and all those, but I mean, why? I don't understand why you spend the money when these things are like cheap as chips and give you exactly the same look. Oh, and tell you another thing you can do as well. There's a video coming up in my stencil in the Made by Marley. There is going to be a week starting from the 7th, because we've got our spring release of decoupage paper and the release of our new stencils, and there's a whole week of videos, and there's going to be a week in that where I'm doing a chinoiserie screen with plaster of Paris in my paint. So yeah, you can use all that kind of stuff too. I mean, this is just as much fun or as much texture as you want, and I'm being quite grizzly around the edges because, well, why not? It doesn't need to be everywhere, but it needs to be somewhere. This is the most probably you're going to see of me doing this, so I'm just going to keep talking and get it right just now. Right, okay, I'm loving that. Let's just dip my hands in the water and get rid of some of that though. Now, let's start to blend some of this. I think I'm going to go in the raspberry, but I'm going to make sure my brush is quite wet. Let's start some drippy, rubbishy, kind of distressy, kind of, let's get going and making this more what we're looking for. I'm going to go in the lighter pink now, because that'll blend quite nicely into the browns and the reds. I'm going to keep the blues probably for the sort of stenciling element. So all these sorts of colours are going to be my blend. Let's get that in there. Let's take that out here and get that. I want to make sure that's kept quite brown now. I do want elements of the blue showing, so I wouldn't go too far in with your brushes if you're going to be doing something like that. You know, make sure you don't lose what you've got underneath. You don't want too much of it, but you want it to be there. Making sure that I'm rubbing that texture in. I'm mingling the texture that I've put on with my hands. There's a reason, there's a method. It's just a different way of applying texture. But it's a good one, I think. What do you think, Martin? I've just gone mad today.
No, I think this is an example of, you know, like you say, there are products out there that can help you to achieve this look.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they are, but they're expensive.
There's other much cheaper products out there that can do just the same thing.
They do exactly the same thing without having to pay all that money. Quite like that blue at the door.
Just go to your hardware store, a local hardware store, and get a massive tub of grout for like $2 or something.
Anything powdery that you can add to your paint. I mean, not all things. I mean, I wouldn't add like ice and sugar, but you know, you can kind of go for it. What are you laughing at?
Ice and sugar. Well,
I was thinking of something powdery. The only thing that kept going through my head was cocaine. Oh, it's a whole different channel. And the kaolin clay or bentonite clay that I use is a sort of beige colour, but you don't need to be put off with that. The colour of it, it doesn't matter when you mix it through your chalk paint, you can't tell. We're really just wanting, I'm trying to get my paint on as fast as possible so I can start playing with it. So right now I'm just working quite fast. I want to have a bit of brown around here. Now remember, the brown's the one with the texture. Now I'm going to change tack slightly, and I'm going to start doing a little bit of scrapey. I've just got a scraper here, but I also have pieces of just Amazon packaging. They do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. I need to make sure that I don't lose my texture. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm never going to watch her. She's crazy. But when you see it at the end, you'll see that there's always, I always have a sort of
So you're trying
process.
to explain how there is actually method in your madness.
Well, I'm trying to do that.
There is always.
Yeah, I think
so. Just for all you lot who are watching, you know, I've been watching They'll Do This for years now, and I still see things and go, really, really, you know, like at the start of the project, and then sometimes she'll say, "What do you think?"
And he goes,
and I don't know at the moment.
I don't know,
but I do know that it's going to all be good in the end.
What else can we use? I mean, I've got a towel here, but I think towel might take it off to the blue, and we might kind of want some of that. So, oh, look at that. Let's just give it a wee bit of a scrape as well. Oh, look at that, look. Now, see if I can recreate that here as well. Oh, now I'm just getting too excited. I like to reveal it. If I can reveal some of the dark wood, I will. I'm not wanting that. All you need to do is, if you over scrape, just apply it and roll over it again. I've got a video which I did way back. Oh, it's a very old one where I used the Wander transfer. And it was before I really kind of started. I was using Annie Sloan paint. I think it was French Chic and some Valspar furniture paint, and I scrape it on and I scrape it back off the whole piece. I go scrapey like this, and then I reapply it so that I've got the texture like that, and I just work across the piece like that, doing things like that. I've always been...
I'll put a link into the video.
Yeah, I've always been quite experimental.
Link above now.
I mean, I'm thinking that I'm going to need the brush to get in here, and I'm going to kind of put some more raspberry on here, but try not to lose the blue. Oh, see, that was a happy little accident. Let's see if I can recreate that again. I think the raspberry's doing something. Now, I'm loath to go into the blue because I really want the blue to be the stamping texture, but let's just see what we can do with maybe a little bit of framing. Get some of that right up in there. Oh, now, you've got this far and you go, well, if anybody comes to visit, you put it this way, they'll be going, oh dear. But this is the part where you just really need to play with it. Play with it, because your paint will move. If you feel a little bit fruity, you can spray it as well, because then it'll move and drip, which is always a little bit exciting, and it helps with a good old mingle. So I think you know what I'm doing. I'm going to go across the whole piece and cause major devastation, and then we're going to come back and we're going to make something beautiful, well, hopefully beautiful, out of what we've done. Okay? Okay, so just pretend the last whole bit of footage was a fever dream. You know that way when you do something and you think, I don't like it. I didn't like that murky colour. It wasn't pleasing me. So as a crazy oddball choice, I decided to put cream over the top of it. And I now really like it. So there's that thing. But once I did it cream, I wanted something a little bit more feminine in it. So I've stamped the flowers. Now, you know how it's stamped because you just saw me stamping the birds and everything, which are not a part of the design now because I went over them in cream. I don't very often mess you around in videos, and normally I know where they're going, but I'm so much happier with this. I love all that blue distress. I love the pink distress. I've still got up there to fix. It's just here that I've done so far and fixed this to what I'm really pleased with. So we're moving on now. We just won't talk about it. So I think it's move on before you keep going and investing too much time and you think, I'm never going to like it. So what am I going to do now? I am sort of loosely, and I mean quite loosely, going to start painting these in. I've not made up my mind yet whether I'm going to be stamping over the top of them yet or just keeping them the shades that I'm doing. But whatever I'm doing, I'm painting these flowers. I just thought I had to go and get Matty. I sent him a message going, you need to come, it's gone all a bit awry. So Julie, he came and he went, oh, so yeah. But I mean, it happens to everybody. You start and you've got good intentions, then you go, actually, I don't like that. And I think it was when I put the blue over the top. It just wasn't it was too murky and dirty looking for me. And I like grungy, but that was a step too grungy for me, I'm afraid. So,
Well, on a serious point,
yeah,
because I see a lot of comments about this.
yeah,
from people who are subscribers who talk about that they're in the middle of a piece, but they don't like it, they're not sure, or what don't know what to do next, and all those kind of things. It's that thing of sometimes the right thing to do is to just say,
fail fast,
stop, fail fast. Exactly, yeah. Just
Yeah.
go, right, okay, no, I'm not going any further. I'm pivoting. I'm going to do this instead because I think this is going to work better.
And I think it shows the honesty of what I do. I mean, not always can it all come together so beautifully. And the thing is as well, I'm an over planner, and I didn't really plan too much of this because I just really want to have fun with the texture. So what was coming next wasn't really hugely planned, because if I'm honest right now, I've got so many irons in the fire with
Just a few.
with the Made by Marley Big Makers week. I am in the middle of stenciling. I'm in the middle of decoupaging.
We normally have one video on the go at any one time.
We've got about,
I think there's 4 on the go at the moment.
yeah. So, I mean, I can be forgiven, I think. Right now, I'm still not making quite 100% sure whether I'm going to go over that or not, or whether I'm going to sand that back and make it a little bit more distressed. Who knows? But that's that sort of colour. And I've got, what did I do with it? Annie Sloan's Coolabah Green. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether this is fully Coolabah Green now. I think I might have added something else to this, but what, I don't know. I just got my leaf stamps and just had them going off the edges. I didn't need to stamp the whole thing. I probably will have to put some detail in here, so I'll probably just use, I haven't got the brush for this to put the detail on, so don't even know why I started. But I'm going to put some detail and colour into these because I'm trying to match it up with that blue that's down the bottom, so that needs to play a part in it somewhere with the green and the blue. I'm just trying to get all my leaves at once so that I don't have to keep coming back. But I'm not going to have you waiting around while I paint all this. I'm going to paint it all in, and then once I've painted it all in, we'll either stamp it, sand it, and then we'll work out what we're going to do around all the edges. I think this needs a little bit of finessing, so I'll go away and do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I sanded them, and I've decided I am going to stamp them. So I'm just stamping them just so you can see me stamping them, if I can ever get this one the right way around. I had it a minute ago, but you know, there you go. So I sanded them quite well, and then I've came back and I've just, now mine's always end up slightly bigger than the stamp because I go further out to eradicate like the ghosting lines, but I think it makes quite a nice sort of kind of distressed look, so I'm okay with it. Sometimes I'm a little bit tighter with my lines so that it doesn't go too much over, but I was really loose and I wasn't sure at that point in time whether I was going to stamp over them, but I am. So that's what I'm doing now. First of all, I'm just making sure that the edges are nice and defined. So I'm just pushing around there and then making sure that I've got it pushed down in the middle. Et voila. Right, so once I've stamped, I'll do one more and then I'll move on to the border. It's all going in the right direction now. I think it's going to be quite a feminine piece. That's why I decided to stamp it. I thought that'll put a little bit of dark areas into it that will. Now, I wasn't sure whether I should be stamping clear or stamping, just kind of half stamping on this for a distressed look, but I thought what I'll do is I can always sand back a little bit more once I've done it. So I've got the option. I think it's better to kind of have options. Now, that one's going on there. There we go. Now, this here, I just got my, sorry about the messy can, the Coolabah Green, and just roughly put it round in a square like you would do when I do it with a roller. And I've got this stamp here. It's redesigned by Primus Stamp, and I think it's from Bohemian Dreamer. I'm mixing mine now. My IOD and my redesigned by Primus. I can do that. So I'm going to take that slightly off. Yeah. And this will be quite a tricky one to stamp, I would imagine, because there's a lot of texture on the piece, and this is quite a fine stamp. But if it looks quite distressed, then we're okay with that. Oh yeah, that's quite cute. I am going to stamp everywhere where I've done the green rim around the piece, around the doors, to give myself a little bit of a frame, because I like frames. And then what I probably will do is, I've got a pink Posca pen, and those little dots I might fill in with paint. I might not. I'm very indecisive today. I'm in a one more before I call it quits. So that's going along there like that, which I'm quite happy about. And when I take it down the edge, I'll just start here and come down it that way so that it comes down and around. What am I going to do with this area here? Now, that is a whole different ask, isn't it? I feel determined to use this, but maybe I don't need anything. Maybe I'll go darker and maybe just put a bit of distress with some burgundy, the berry colour, because I've got enough in my palette here. I want it a little bit thicker, I think. Make it look like there was already something there. I wasn't wanting to go in too heavy to begin with to see if I liked it. Yeah, I do. So let's just kind of go forth now with more paint. I've got loads and loads of lovely texture on this. All the work that we did at the very beginning has given a marvellous base. Now, I'm unclear whether I'm just going to keep this like this or whether I'm going to come along and put something on top of this. I don't know yet. So that's going to go round this edge, and the green is going to go round the whole top, but I need to go back up the top and put more white on it. I think probably what I'll do is I'll take that shelf out for just now, and the flowers I'll put in the back and stamp all those in there. And then we'll get to kind of finessing all the borders and things. But what do you think, Martin? Is it looking quite nice?
It is.
Yeah.
And I can see what you mean about the all the things you did before, the texture, because you can really, I don't know whether it's coming up, well, sort of like that there, for example.
Yeah.
You know, that bit there.
It's texture's a wonderful thing to play with.
And then I'll just come up here, just all of this.
And up there needs maybe a little bit more white when you're kind of going over the top of it, water some of it down and put some of it on more solidly, and you'll get quite a nice effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm digging that so far. It's got a kind of it's got a really nice vibe going about it now. I don't know. I was kind of just not happy with that dirty sort of grungy kind of. I wanted more colour.
Excuse me, sniffing.
More sniffing from Martin. He's got the cold. We both have got the cold.
It's the jail, it really is.
It's the jail. That's such a Scottish thing to say. He won't get that.
Well, I think it's been going on here.
Yeah.
I think it's because you started off the day because you were so excited about all your other projects, and you had to do this one, you know, and you had your idea, but I don't think you were 100% in on it.
No.
It didn't go your way. So then you just went with your gut and you pivoted into this, and now you're totally.
I'm happy.
Now you're totally into this.
Exactly.
And now it's flowing now.
Yeah, I'm in the zone.
In the zone,
which is nice. I think I might put something over the top of this, but maybe a little bit of a hand painted design around there.
Yep.
Yeah. So
now instead of it being, we could say you were pushing it.
Yeah.
Forcing a design kind of thing.
I'll never keep going, especially on a video.
Whereas
I won't keep forcing it.
Now you're in your zone and you're happy. So
I'm happy, Martin. It's looking really nice.
It is.
It's looking very cute. So what am I going to do? Because you don't need to see all of this on camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shell. I'm going to put some more cream up the top and make areas more solid like this. Take the shelf out, stamp in my chrysanthemums, put those up in the top with my leaves, and I'll do my green, Coolabag green round this edge, and we'll come back for me stamping the Coolabag green and working out what we're going to do with here, what we're going to do with this part, and what we're going to do with just finessing this all together, because I've got a funny feeling in here would look quite nice, a little bit darker, but let's just have a wee look. What is it? Me. It doesn't all need to be done, but I just think maybe it's a bit more water to run a bit. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. All's not lost when you're playing with like this, because I mean you can easily not bother with it, but it's just that I always like to kind of accentuate frames. It makes your furniture pop. Because already, can you see that, Martin? Just by putting the dark down in that, where the corners are, the edges down in there, for me, it makes it look like it's sticking out a bit more. It's more of a boom than a sitting back.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll get on and do what I've got to do. And I think maybe this might be the end of my filming for tonight. I've also got a cold and I really don't want to push it because we've got so much to do with the launch that
we can't afford to be sick.
Can't afford to be sick, but I can't keep going either. And I've just suffered from exhaustion, so I really don't want to get back in that vibe.
No.
So, plus it's not warm in here tonight. I don't know. Oh, this is going to be really nice, man, and I'm very pleased with it so far.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I've got this side here covered because I don't want to just spoil a layer. And usually I've got a bigger piece of furniture which I can work on so that you don't see it. But there's no way I can cover this up. So what have you missed? I painted a pink band here and I'm going to stamp it, and I've done the pink band up here, and I'm going to show you what I did for here, there. You saw all this and you saw the red going around the edges. You saw the flowers. Now, normally I would take it down a completely different route. Normally I would take it down maybe a more similar route, but I'm going to take it down a completely different route. So, first of all, let's work out what we're going to do here. Now, what I did on the other side was, now I've got some black. I've actually got it on cardboard because I'm going to be stenciling. Yeah, I think I'd add some stencils onto this as well. I know I said it was be stamping, but I thought, this might be quite unusual. So I'm just inking up this stamp. This is from a redesign by Prima, and I think it's from Bohemian Dreamer, but I might be wrong. Let's just start kind of here because it's easier for Martin to film. This is an old one. I've got this in a newer version. This is an old one, and it's not the best one that I've got, but it's perfect for what I need it to do right now, so I'm okay with it. And I want it kind of, I'm going to flip that around because I know that there's paint on the other side. I'm looking for that sort of distress look, but I do want some of the pattern. And yes, I am putting this one on with paint. Why am I using paint and not ink now? Because I want something heavier on the sides to kind of balance out the finer stamping with the ink. And sometimes you have to think about that. What does it need? And I think this needs it. So I stenciled that on there like that. And then what I did was I just got my little paintbrush, and in between some of the gaps, I just put a hint of the blue, just here and there. And I mean, there's a little bit of ghosting actually going on with that stamp. I must have moved it a little bit, cheeky me. Remember, you're going for a sort of distressed look. So don't, this isn't an overthinking it thing. Now, normally you would let this dry, and I'm doing this wet. So that's a bit kind of outrageous of me, but
a bit annoying.
Yes, but you're kind of used to me doing things like this. Normally I would dry it off a little bit more. I'm touching the door, but you'll see what's going to be happening with that in a minute, so that's really not going to be relevant. Right, let's dry that up. We'll let that dry a minute while I show you what else I'm going to be doing, because it's going to come together soon. So that's the edges. Heavier on the edges to combat the lightness of this. But then I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stencil. Now, you can see I've stamped up here. I'm going to do the stenciling first on this and then paint these in. But because I came to the party too late with this, I'm going to be putting, I don't know who keeps binging me. Something to do with Me by Marley, probably. It's a bit more tricky, I've got to admit, when you're going in the gaps. Now, you could go and have a look and find all your masks, but do you know what? I've got to be brutally honest about the masks. When the masks come in my stamps, I just normally put them in a cupboard and I never go near them again, because I always think I don't need to do that. But if you're a masky type of person and that's your jam, then get your masks out. And then you don't need to worry too much about dancing around all of these. No. There's not many more on this I can do, but you get the general gist. This is going on. I'm going to take this paper off in a minute. Now, I'm probably going to have to take the paper off anyway, because I can't join up this with this. So I'm going to show you what I've done. So you've seen this stamp in here, because I've just done it there. I'm going to be putting the dark edges on it in a minute, but I'm letting this dry a little bit. This, now I had a little bit of bleed through there on the last one, but I thought to myself, oh, our lights have just gone dim. What do you want to do, Martin? Do you want to stop filming, or is
it's okay, carry on. Still got enough light.
We've got a dicky light. Now, it's just one width along the top of this panel. And because this is a sort of, I'm not going to say grungy, because I'm not really a fan of that word. This is not a grungy piece. It's just a heavily distressed piece of furniture with a whole load of texture on it. And the texture, the reason for this video is to prove that you can stamp, stencil, and do whatever you want with texture. And texture it just adds something. And if anything, it's just really fun to work with. When you stamping it, it does irregular things because it can't get down into the grooves. When you stenciling it, it does the same. It kind of throws it off and makes it, where's the stencil going to go? But I think that's all part of the kind of the fun of it all. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. But no, I'm not going to do that, because that would be a disaster. I just want these to come down here like this. So I'm going to be doing the 2 lines of this all the way down here. That's where these diamonds are going to go. I've obviously got the rest of them to fill in where my flowers are. And on this part here, I'm going to be putting this stencil on here first before I paint in these. Because, well, it just makes the process so much easier. But because I didn't know I was going to do that, I'm doing it this way round, and it's just a little bit weird. But you can follow along. You can get where my brain went to. Right, okay, so this is going to go down and around here. I'm going to fill out the rest of these in here where I've got gaps. Yeah, so you've seen that. I'll get to that in a minute. This edge here, it's not really dry enough. All I did was just, your stencil brush is normally quite a good one to kind of go on its side, and you're just kind of running it down to make a sort of a nice edge. But I also got the pink, the lightest pink, and I kind of distressed the edges with the pink over the top of all that texture. I didn't put a lot on, but on some areas I brought it in over that black edge, just to kind of distress it a bit more. And you can touch in here and there with the pink if you want. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, that looks a little bit like a Dalmatian dog up there. I'm going to have to fix it. Right, so pink went down that edge. Then what did I do? See, it's remembering everything I did. That's why I was trying not to show you this. What I did was I kind of did an occasional sort of blue part so that it looked like it had colours, and then it was the hot pink, the berry sort of colour. So I did something like that. And then what I did was I came along with the pink, and just, now again, I'm doing this over the top of the wet stuff, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I just kind of put a little bit of something in there as well, just to kind of distress that out, so that it's all the way down. So you saw me do this, you know what to do there. I'm going to sand that one there because it's really glaringly obvious that it's not right. I've got the rest of here to stencil in the background. This border here was just the pink band with this stamp here. Yeah, just that one there that I showed you that I was going to use. And this part up here was done with this, and I'm just about to show you this part here. And really, this is going to be the bones now for the whole piece. I've showed you everything that's going on to it, apart from this little thin border, which was this one here. And I just put ink on that and stamped that around there. It's going to build from here, because what I'm going to have is the black and white with the diamonds behind the flowers with the pink painted on top, restamped. This back piece here is going to be the pink with either this
Yep.
See that bit there that goes right up to the top?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be this pink colour and look either like this or the one down the bottom. But we can come back to that later on. I stuck that one on there just because I'd gone that far up. I don't know why. It's just I felt like I didn't want to give too much away. Right, let me just get in stamping position. So with my ink, it was ink, wasn't it? Yeah. I only need half of this, but if I stamp the whole lot, I can get 2 lots of it. And this is a good way of also keeping it quite distressed, because you're only using certain amounts of it. So here, and if I turn this round and do it on here, it's very distressed here, so it's struggling to print. Put a bit more ink on it. Now you can see I've done this really distressed blue edge. That's going to have this one, and I'll show you that in a minute. Well, it's quite involved, this Martin, isn't it? It went from being, oh, this will be a nice quick video, to I've just decided to go crazy. Now see the edge of this one here, this one, which is the one that goes down here. See the very edge of this? Can you see just the little spots? I only want the little spots. So I just run my ink pad down it, and that's going to create a little bit of a border for what we've just done. So I'm only stamping, see just the edge? It just makes it look really kind of like it's finished but it's worn off kind of thing. It just adds a level of distress that you want, and you can do it on the outer edge as well. Just run that down here and pop that on the outer edge so that you've got that outer edge fixed as well. So that will, this and this, you know what we're doing. This stamp here so this one here is the one we did this with, which is going to be the one that we do that one with. So again, I'm going to stamp this. Am I explaining this all okay, Martin?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just quite a lot to do. I won't take it straight into that edge, but I'm getting up to the point where it's going to be easier to stamp because I'm leaning down on these ones. So I'll re-ink it. And I'll just join that up onto there. And in the middle here, I've already made up my mind. What do you think? It's like one of those things that you do at school. What is it that's going to go in there if you follow the rest of the sort of pattern? Well, I know.
Is it going to be a big flower?
It is, Martin. It is. Oh, what a man. You know. You're in the know. It is. It's going to be one of the well,
Like one of those.
they're not rhododendrons. Oh, preserve me. Chrysanthemums. Sorry. I'm having a day of not knowing the words again. I'm Marty.
Yep.
There's been quite a lot of that going on today. Sometimes Martin and I, it's like playing a guessing game. I'm trying to tell him something.
I'm pretty good at knowing what you mean most of the time.
He has to guess because I'm trying to desperately explain something. And we go round and round the houses until he eventually goes, oh, I know what you mean. Right. And
it can be quite funny sometimes.
Oh, because I never get the right names. I'm actually better off camera at remembering names. I'm
Marginally.
I'm not good with...
Where did we go this morning?
Well, it's not Pennsylvania.
No, it's not Pennsylvania.
Penny Lane? Penny?
Exactly. This is my point.
Penny, it was Penny somewhere. Penny somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember, Martin. You're playing
Penny
the game. Penny Cook. That's where we went. We went to drop off the clock, you know, the whimsical clock with the moon face. So that's where we went. Put that in the middle there. And that just kind of finishes that off, and I'll distress this one too. But when it comes to the big flowers, you don't have the placement to be able to put on big leaves. So I'll show you what I do. If you just get your stamp, I've created a terrible mess on my floor, and just do the edges. See the very ends. This is why I'm saying I don't use masks. I mean, I don't think I need them. There and there. That gives you some leaves. Yeah. That's going to look like that. It is starting. I mean, I really like it. It's quite unusual for me, actually.
That's what you get when you pivot.
I'm wondering whether, and this is something that I would normally never ever do, but I'm wondering whether a bit of silver leaf in and around here and a nice silver handle might make it look quite nice. These are things to discuss at a later date. So you know what I'm going to do? Stamping down here. Finish the diamonds down here and around there. Finish the diamonds on there. Start painting in here, doing the diamonds in here and painting these. I'll get this whole section done, and I'll get the flowers stamped up there. In fact, you know what? You've seen most of it now. It's just all going to be repeated. I won't probably do the top yet. I'll save all that until we get up there. But this is us so far, okay? All right, so I'm going to be working up the top half. Now, on the top half, I used a larger Harlequin stencil. Once I had done the stencil, and this one here is finished, I put the white on and I've sanded it off. But you can see here, I put some white paint onto it, and I'm going to be sanding and distressing the white that I put on top to make it look like the white was the last thing to go on. So I'm making sure it gives everything a really good sand at this point, so that it all beds down and it looks like one. Sorry, this is very noisy. It's really important that this looks as distressed as everywhere else. There. Over the flowers. And the same thing with the shell. Give it a sand. And I'm just going to get a cloth for the dust, which I should have brought over with me. Let's just get rid of this dust so that I can move on to the next piece. I've got a slightly damp cloth here. Now, as you can imagine, this piece has been quite messy. My floor is filthy. It's going to take a week and a day to clean up at it. Now, once we've got to this stage, I've got my blue that I used in the beginning. And I'm going to make a kind of distressed frame, and I'm not going to think about it too much. I wouldn't overthink this process. Bring it down. Bring it down here. Bring it in some areas. Like that. Down to this edge. It doesn't matter if you go on the back of the pink. Pink's been done now with the little blue dots that I did. I'm going to show you the blue dots on this part here. I left that just so I could show you. It's just me putting dots on it, but I thought, you know, and what I'm doing now is I'm creating a little bit of a frame around it. This always looks better when you kind of stand back, but I do think it's worth it. Let me just get up this side, because you know what, when you're selling it, I mean, people look at all the angles. Same on this side. I don't think you need to see much more of this, but I think you understand what it is I'm trying to do. I'm just doing a little bit of this down, and you can move it right in there close to the flower if you want, along this edge. And you don't need to be sparing with it. Where the diamonds, because of my shelf, didn't quite go down, you can bring it up to there. In fact, you can bring it up past the diamonds if you want. And finish up this side here. And this has been I've got to be honest, it's a really fun piece to do, because I mean, I've just kind of made it up as I went along, and I've really enjoyed it. Now, once I've done that, I just wanted to show you something quickly, only because it's kind of relevant. When I said to you before, you don't need to use all the stencil, you can also just make up your own shape. I just made up those leaves. They're not the leaves that go with this. I just painted them on. But when you add something like this over the top, it just kind of gives them a little bit more credence that that's what they actually wear. See, like that. They're not these leaves. They're just ones I painted. So, and if you're still a little bit not sure about it, just give it another wee stamp. Yeah, now that I'll need sanded, those little things, but I'll do that in a minute. Now the little blue dots are just the Coolabah green, and I just picked out And I'm not, you can see how I'm doing this. This is not precision work. We are going for the distressed look. I don't know if there is one there, but we'll put one there anyway. Right, so that's been done, that's been done. I can see that this needs to come down onto this shelf a bit. Just to finish off that edge. Right, so here's been done. Up here, what am I going to do? I am literally going to be putting, which stamp did I think would be the best one? I thought of maybe pushing the boat out and doing something a little bit different up here. This is one that I haven't used throughout the whole piece actually, and I always say don't start adding ones at the end, but here we go. It's been one of those it's been one of those videos where I've just kind of, this is a nice one as well. I just before off camera added more ink to my stamp pad because it's so rough. I mean up here it's not even going to stamp. I can see, can you see the texture? There's no way it's going to stamp on that, but you're going to get the suggestion that it's there. Now, there's no sort of rhyme or reason if you're, there's not a specific way to stamp into texture. And as I said, I've never done a stamping into texture video, so I think that's, yeah, good enough. And I am stamping on top of my already done furniture, but I'm being very, very careful. I'm going to join that. I'm just going to push this part on first before I go for the big part, which is here. So I'll just re-ink that. Now, you know what I'm doing up here. Let's try this. I mean, I don't have high hopes for here, to be honest with you. Now, once I've done this, I'll come in with the blue like I did on the edges, and I'll just fill in some blue. Or no, I won't. I'll use this dark blue just to frame this part off here, and I'll put the dark blue up on, around that edge. Right. Yeah. Now, the dark blue, obviously, I'll just show you how this looks. And I'm not putting it on solidly because remember, it's a distressed piece of furniture. So, don't think it matters if it touches. Actually, it looks quite nice if it touches the blue underneath. So, a bit heavier there. On that edge and underneath there. Yeah. I will use the lighter blue, the Coolabah green, sorry, I keep calling it blue, for there. So you know what this is like? I can see here needs another little bit of sanding. It looks a little bit splodgy, and here you don't want it to look like it's splodgy. You want to fade that into the background. I did use a scraper to scrape some of the texture away because it was really highly textured. It's been sanded. Now I just need to go down the bottom, show you what I'm finishing off at the bottom. Oh, actually I can do it up here with one of them. After I've done this, let's roll up my sleeves time. Oh. I've got acrylic paint in a squeezy bottle. I decided that from a distance, my flowers really needed a little bit of wow factor. So you can see what I'm doing. I mean, I'm almost going on the outside of my flower so that it looks like it's got a bit of shadow or just moved a bit. You can make this bit art as you go along. You don't need to follow the stamping. I mean, this is just fun. Right, so once I did that on my flowers down on the front cupboard, sorry, I just need to put that pin in there before I lose it. I got some gold Peebo. It's a relief outliner. I use them quite a lot, so you've probably seen me use these before. I'm just going to squeeze the bottom. And then what I did was just to give it a little bit of texture. And this is just for texture really, is I just kind of added a little bit of gold round. It's like something nice over the worn. And I always quite like that sort of, I don't know, bringing it out when the rest looks quite faded. Let's give this a nice big leaf down here. And I'm not doing all of it, I'm just bringing out some of it, right? So that's what I'm doing with these flowers so that they pop out of the wornness. I'll fix these cream bits in a minute. And Martin, sorry, but can I just show them the bottom part here?
Yep. Right, just make sure I'm not standing on anything.
That's okay. I did the same with down here, faded it out with some white. I've put my black on it and I was letting it dry before I put my gold on. So my gold's got to go on that flower, these flowers, and the one up there. Right, this is what I'm doing here. I've got the same Peebo outliner, but it's a silver. And what I'm doing is I'm just doing 3 little, kind of like a peacock's crown, like that, along these diamonds. What are you laughing at?
You say, well, because there's not enough going on already.
No, I know. I thought it needs more. So, and I wanted it to be quite subtle more, not hugely in your face more. So I just did this, right? And then with my gold, I just put a wee dot of the gold on top of them. Oh, like that. Back, oh, I don't need that one there. Right, so I've got these ones to finish. I brought my little peacock 3 things in the air all the way down the side, all the way down the bottom, and I just put gold spots on that second line. I then got my gold and I just kind of dotted it around in that design. So I need to do that on the back all the way up. But apart from that, I think
it's done.
I think it's done. I'll go away and I'll put my gold in here, and I've still got my black to put around there. And
put around where? Sorry, I was panning somewhere else.
It's okay. I've still got the black to put around these flowers here and up the top, and accent them with some texture with the gold. I'm going to seal it, and I'm going to find a really nice handle for here, something that goes with this. This is an unusual piece. It shows you that you can stamp onto tons of texture. It had a funny beginning when I went down that really, and it was actually the colour that I've ended up using. This is what I washed over the top of it that I really didn't like. But when I added the cream, and cream furniture is not something I do very often, but it seems to work. So and I'm really quite happy with it. It's turned out quite nice. So I'll get on and do all my frippery bits, do my liners, seal it, pop a handle on, and I'll be back when I'm ready. Well, she's finished. That took an ominous turn halfway through. I think it was just the colour. It was a little bit dark, but you saw how easily I fixed it. Well, you didn't actually see me, but all I did was just smear white on it. I mean, I didn't really overthink it. Kept some of the texture on the back. This is heavily textured. I really like it. I don't know why I've never stamped on texture before. Seems a no-brainer to me, but just didn't. It's got a bit of stenciling as well. I quite like the mix of the sort of Indian with the Harlequin. I think it's quite unusual, quite like that. And I think that's another thing about what I'm always saying about experiments and trying different things. I think that works nicely. The stamps were IOD, and the Harlequin was just a stencil that I had, all painted with Annie Sloan. That's it, really. There's not really much to add on this one. Martin's put me a really vintage brass handle, and off camera you can see I came along and I shoved some gold in and around it, because I read what somebody said the other day, you can never have too much gold on my socials. They were talking about something they did, and I thought, do you know, that's right, really. You can never have too much gold. I had a little bit in a pot, so I just popped it up and round the edges. That's all I did. Finished all my raised detailing and everything, and that's it. Done for today. Martin, any thoughts? Anything to say?
No, cracking piece. And as you say, like, you know, what this started life as, you got to that point where, you know, you didn't like it, so you changed. Pivot, change, and look what look what happened.
You know, when you think, oh, as soon as I put that dark colour on, even though I was on camera, you could tell with my, my hesitant sort of voice going, oh no, and I don't always think sometimes throwing more at it works. Now, before I go, I just need to grab something. This Friday, the 7th of March, is the great big Made by Marley week. What will we be doing on the Made by Marley week? There's a whole week and 2 days, all the way to the following Sunday. There'll be a short tutorial. We'll be showcasing all of the Made by Marley products, including all our new stencil sets. There's 6 sets of stencils, all with different themes, 3 in a pack. That means you can do a whole piece of furniture, or if you see in the videos, you can do walls, you can do fabric. I'll be doing lots of different things. I'll also be decoupaging. I'll be using the new limited custom set for spring it's got rabbits and bunnies and flowers and all that kind of jazz. And there's also a furniture wall art in a box. And I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler, it's Frida Kahlo. So next Friday at 12 midday, that's GMT, because that's our UK time. And that will be the release, and everything will be available from that day on. So we'll see you Friday, and we'll see you Saturday, we'll see you Sunday, and we'll see you right through the following week. And if you're not part of our social media, if you don't follow Made by Marley Crafts on Instagram and on Facebook, please do so, because there's going to be competitions. There's going to be one running on YouTube, and there'll be competitions in our decoupage group every single day. So it's worth joining these groups. I will say one thing: when you do join the decoupage group, you need to at least answer 2 of the questions, and one of them you must answer, which is how you're going to conduct yourself in there, because quite a lot of times I have to decline because you haven't answered those. So if you could answer those questions, and we know you're going to be good and nice in the group, then you're welcome. So Martin and I will see you for the Great Big Made by Marley week next week. Bye bye.